Jon Snow may have been kissed by fire, but did Robb Stark have the kiss of death when he executed Karstark and lost half of his army? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It's time to review Game of Thrones Season 3, Episode 5. So we're at the halfway point. Obviously, Game of Thrones only has 10 episode seasons. Yeah, halfway through Season 3. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
How does it compare to 1 and 2? Well, it's certainly not better than 1. I think we can all agree on that. Is it better than 2?
I think 2 and 3 has been massively disappointing me. I think the last 15 episodes has been like, whatever happened there? I mean, honestly, what has happened? Not much. Not much has happened, man.
I mean, look, you get some really great scenes, you get some really great dialogue, but it's few and far between.
No, but see, you think about it,
in terms of overall great episodes, there's not been many produced. We all know how good Blackwater was. We gave it a 10 out of 10. But other than Blackwater, it's like, I mean, there's been a couple of maybe great episodes in there. Or even maybe not, you know. It's just, there hasn't been many. Like I said, there's great scenes, but I think there's more, I wouldn't say there's more bad than good, but, you know, I think a lot of the good scenes are being just outweighed by the average stuff.
Yeah, but you look at Game of Thrones, right? And it's like, the stuff with Robert and Ned, which was pre-war, by the way, just felt massive. It felt big time. Then you get this war, and it feels like that's the whole point of the show. Game of Thrones, who's going to get the Iron Throne, all this. And the show was better when we actually had, like, not a decisive, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, the one and only king was Robert. There was no one really fighting him. He was the one and only. The one and only.
The undisputed king or something?
The undisputed champion, right? Robert Baratheon. That's when the show was at its best.
Yeah.
When there was actual, like, certainty.
As soon as we actually get into the war and there's different families fighting, it just feels like it's kind of, you know, it's been on the decline.
Like,
but
Joffrey does nothing this episode. We see Stannis, honestly. See, my estimation of Stannis Baratheon is fucking plummeted.
But you know what, man? I do think that Ned Stark is hands down the best character, and I think Robert can certainly make a case for being the second best in Season 1. So when you lose your two best characters, I mean, I think the show is going to go down, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if The Walking Dead lost Rick and Shane after Season 1, Season 2 is not as good as it is. It's just not.
I'm not even exaggerating when I think Season 2 and 3 is filler.
Filler?
I would actually describe it as filler. Compared to 1, it's filler.
I think Season 3 is marginally better than Season 2 at the moment, but I doubt they're going to produce anything near Blackwater, so therefore, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, we're going to talk
I want to talk about Robb Stark. Let's get Robb Stark right. So,
well, actually, no, we're going to start with Beyond the Wall, because I like to go in chronological order, and I don't know why we're starting here, because it's not really chronological, but we're going to start with anyway, because
let's start Beyond the Wall and quickly get back over it.
Alright, Jon Snow's with the wildlings. He gets kissed by Ygritte. They have sex and all that stuff, and you know, it wouldn't be a Game of Thrones episode without. I've always thought, right, there was just too much sex scenes, and I'm not trying to be gay here or anything like that, but to me, it's like I accept. I'm not saying don't have them. Like, great, oh, hot women, boobs, but I mean, do you not think Game of Thrones does it too much? Like,
I think it does, yeah. It does gay scenes as well. Does everything.
To me, Game of Thrones is just one of those shows like where you couldn't really watch like where. I know people can say, "Oh, it's an 8." Like, see The Walking Dead. Like, I feel like you can watch The Walking Dead with family, or you know, you can watch The Walking Dead with people.
I know.
And you might get maybe one or two scenes that are a little bit off.
See, I don't think a 12-year-old's watching Game of Thrones.
No, but I mean, like Game of Thrones, literally, it does feel like you're getting like one orgy scene every episode.
Yeah. No, I know it's a very vulgar show, but that's
no. But my point is, people don't like really. People don't follow ratings. They just don't. All right, it is what it is. You look at shows like I'm sure The Punisher's on 18, but I think people would watch it even though there is violence in it.
Yeah.
Like I just used The Punisher as an example. Breaking Bad's like a 15, but you know, like Sons of I think these shows you can watch, but like we Game of Thrones, it's like. There's just so much like.
Let's just talk about Jon Snow, man. Absolute filler. Let's not like I'm talking about season 2 and 3.
John, what side are you on? Are you a wildling or are you a crow?
John going
if you're a crow, I will kill you, boy. I mean, right, good for you.
Yeah, he buries the guy who has the crow eyes. There's nothing there. Jon Snow, right? No, see, before I dove into this show, all I heard was Jon Snow, Daenerys. They're probably the two people with the fucking weakest story. I don't mind Jon Snow.
I like Jon Snow, but he probably peaked. See when Ned waved him off to the wall.
See when they got the wolves in episode 1 in Tullymore fucking Forest. Shout out to Tullymore.
No, you know what? No, I do think season 1 was actually. I thought I liked Jon Snow in season 1.
Yep.
I think when he was at the wall. I think once it went beyond the wall, though. I think the arc since it went beyond the wall has been filler.
Yeah, but
him getting lost, him, leaving the crows behind and becoming a member of the wildlings. I mean, that's pretty much lasted since season 2. Jon Snow has been beyond the wall since season 2. Well, and what's he accomplished? In 15 episodes, he's got separated from the crows and he's teamed up with the wildlings. That's it. That's what Jon Snow's accomplished. Oh, and he's had sex with some chick. That's what he's accomplished in 15 episodes.
And 15 episodes is a lot of time, man. Anyway, that sums up Jon Snow, is it? There's nothing we're missing there. I mean,
but then again, you could say what's Robb Stark accomplished?
Well, that's what I want to get into. But
15 episodes.
I don't know if that's chronologically next. So.
Yeah, right. We're in Slaver's Bay. Slaver's Bay. All right. So this is Daenerys stuff. She tells one of the Unsullied to come forward. You've been chosen as the new leader. You can now pick a name because we don't believe in the names, slave names. And he said his name is Grey Worm. But he's not going to change it because she says, that's your slave name. And he went, no, that's my name that I had the day that you rescued me. So he's going to keep his name Grey Worm.
Right.
Guy doesn't even have a worm.
Daenerys fucking sucks, folks. I don't care. I don't know what's going to happen by the time we get to the end of this show for me to actually backtrack on that. But see the conversation between Mormont and Sir Ballister? I liked it.
No, I liked it too.
That was probably the best scene of the episode.
Selmy Barristan and Mormont, yeah, no, a good scene. Two warriors that are, have thrown a little bit of shade at each other. No, definitely, I thought that was.
But, no, the thing is,
But they're the only two characters that you could see. I
don't know if you feel this. Let me just get this across quickly before I forget. I am more interested in the Mad King than I am this current war. See when I hear Jaime Lannister talk about it. See when I heard these two talk about it and he's like, oh, I fought Robert Baratheon and killed a bunch of his high-ranking soldiers. I am more interested in that than what's currently happening right now. And that is a fucking problem.
Although, I mean, it kind of shows you... I mean, we've seen House of the Dragon. There is all these sequels. I mean, and prequels. I mean, could a prequel about the Mad King, like...
Yeah, but how... But it doesn't seem it's that long ago. We're talking maybe, 10 years?
I think 15 would be more appropriate.
Maybe 15, but... Again,
yeah, because when
Ned... you see my point?
Well, because when Ned killed him, he didn't have any... I believe Ned didn't have any kids at that point.
So 18 years ago? Fuck, I didn't think Jaime would have been that old then. Point is... Do you see my point, though?
No, I do see your point. But it is what it is. Slaver's Bay, not a lot happening here. You take out Mormont, you take out Barris and Selmy. I just don't care for the Unsullied. I mean, Daenerys... I just don't understand the Daenerys character. Hot to look at in season 1, I guess, but I mean, that was kind of it. That's when she peaked, really. See, when Drago died, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, just get dragons. I don't care about dragons.
That's what it is. She's a dragon queen, if anybody cares.
I don't.
But yeah, no, I did like this little scene between them, so that was pretty good. River Run, the prisoners, Martin and William Lannister, they get woken up in the middle of the night by Lord Rickard Karstark, and he fights his way into the guard room, and I believe he kills a guard, and then kills the Lannister boys. So, I mean, even if he says that he was killing Lannisters and they're the enemy, he still killed a member. He still killed one of Robb Stark's guards.
This is so forced.
And for me, that makes him a traitor.
It does make him a traitor, but I think this is so forced. Like, why kill these two kids? I get it. He wants the Lannisters to pay, but this is just so they can lose half their army and we can reintroduce Walter Frey back into the fray.
Ho ho ho!
No, do you not think so though? It's like, what did this guy think was going to happen? Do you think Robb Stark's going to be like, oh, that's a great thing you did there?
Yeah, so Robb's like, well, you betrayed me. Why did you do this? You killed these innocent boys. Rickard, what's his name? Richard Karstark? Is
Rick the dog. I don't know, man.
Rickard. So Lord Rickard says they weren't innocent. They're enemies. They're Lannisters. In war, you kill your enemies. Boy, didn't your father teach you anything? Can't go dissing Ned like that.
Yeah, you kill your enemies, not your allies. Why are you killing the guy guarding them?
You can't go diss. So Robb's looking on, and he's like, "You betrayed me. You've let me down." And Lord, I mean, someone comes and punches him after he kind of insults Ned, which I thought was a nice wee touch. Ned's name still commands respect.
Sums up the show though. It's like 12 times.
Rickard is like, well, watch this. Your king here, your wannabe king, your so-called king he's just gonna, he's gonna give me a warning and he's gonna let me go because that's how he deals with traitors. And then Robb Stark's like, no, actually, that's not what we're gonna do. Kill them all. Keep Rickard as a hostage and kill them all. Then one of Rickard's men says, look, I didn't do anything. I didn't kill them. I was only watching. I was only a watcher. And then Robb says, all right, this guy only watched. Kill him last so you can see the others die. I thought it was a pretty good line. I like that for Robb Stark.
No, it was a pretty good line for Robb Stark, but it's like, is this worth losing half your army over? I think maybe, but then...
It's probably the Ned Stark in him, the honourable thing. What would Ned do?
I think Ned Stark would have done this, but the problem is, though, Ned Stark would have went through with the deal with Walter Frey 2 seasons ago to marry his daughter. And yeah, he's dug himself that hole.
That is true. Ed Murtilly, Robb's uncle, says, look, word of this can't leave Riverrun, but Robb says, look, I'm not a liar. Tully's like, well, you wouldn't really be lying. We'd just be we'd be hiding the truth until after the war. Robb's like, no, that can't happen. If the Rickard's men, the Karstarks want to leave, then they can leave, obviously. And then at the end, Robb does execute the leader of Lord Karstark, and then his soldiers do leave. So
I want to hunt you.
So Robb sees his army basically get cut in half, and then
but Robb last episode buried these guys for like wasting time and effort in the sneak attack by getting these 2 jobber Lannisters that no one... Oh, it's the fifth, grand related cousin of Tywin.
Yeah, and now they're dead. So I mean, look, he's lost half his army this episode. He lost a lot of soldiers last episode trying to get the Lannisters. So, I mean, yeah, it's just not looking good for Robb. But then he tells his wife that he knows a guy that can help. He knows a guy that has got an army, and that is Lord Walder Frey. Now, I don't think that Walder... Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't think Lord Walder Frey has a big army. He's got the bridge and it's good. It's like accessible, and I mean Robb needed that to cross. I get that, but I wasn't under the impression that Walder Frey has a massive army.
Yeah, but they're already across that bridge. I don't. Yeah, you're right. But Robb's like, oh, that's the numbers we need to. Put it this way, right? Would it not have been easier just to swallow a bit of that honourableness and let this guy live and keep half the army than go to Walter Frey? Because honestly, like, what can he say? He's already married to this woman.
Yeah, well, apparently Robb did lose a few thousand soldiers. They withdrew from Robb's army when he broke his promise to the marriage allegiance. So we'll see. I mean,
idiotic.
I mean, what can Robb offer Walder Frey? I mean, offer one of his other siblings to...
Well, he thinks they're both dead.
True, maybe. Well, anyway, I guess he can't do much.
He can marry the burnt corpse.
At Harrenhal, we have Jaime Lannister. He's told that he might have to get his arm cut off from the shoulder. He doesn't like that. It's like, what about the elbow? He doesn't like that either.
It's funny how Lord Bolton here led him on. He's like, your sister.
It's a shame what happened to her. She's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of funny there for Lord Bolton. Jaime then gets his arm, I mean, not fixed, but he gets his treated. Then he steeps in the bath. He has a little swim, and he decides to swim alongside your big woman. whose name?
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth. So he gets in a little bit. She's like, a bit, uncomfortable. But then Jaime just goes in anyway. He's like, I'm not looking at you. Don't worry. Then he says, you're not very good. You're supposed to get me to King's Landing. Now I'm stuck here. No wonder Renly died. And I mean, then she stands up and he's like apologetic. I mean, Renly always seems to be like at least like once an episode there's a Renly joke in there.
He's the butt of the joke.
He is a butt of the joke. And then Jaime talks about the Mad King and he reveals how the Mad King did go mad in the end. Mad by name, mad by nature, and he loved wildfire and he was planning on burning everyone, and he was going to burn them all, as he said, burn them all, and that's why Jaime killed him. That's why Jaime stabbed him in the back, because he didn't want everybody, all these innocent people, to burn. So people call him the Kingslayer, the guy that, had no honour and stabbed the guy in the back, but by doing so, he prevented thousands of innocent people dying.
Yeah, he seemed like he wanted admiration here for Ned Stark, but I think Ned would have been like, yeah, he was going to kill those innocent people, but you kill him face to face, not back to face, like Renly. So, reel it in.
Yeah, and then we see Jaime's getting a little bit emotional here, and then he kind of faints, and Brienne Tarth's like, oh, the Kingslayer needs help, and he's like, Jaime, my name is Jaime. So Jaime Lannister bonding with Brienne Tarth. Good scene, I like this.
Yes.
I think their arc's been one of the better arcs in Season 3.
I agree.
Although it did start in Season 2 as well, so I mean...
It did. Again, it's like Jaime Lannister, he was barely in Season 2 till the end.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it is like literally 6 episodes where they've just been on the road. Obviously, this episode here, they've been caught or whatever, but... I mean, it's kind of a slow pace.
No, but see, when you actually think of it, right? See, normally in other TV shows when someone gets captured, like, and they're hostage, it is shockeroony, like, if it lasts any more than, like, 4 episodes. This has lasted across 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's kind of mental.
And there's no sign of it slowing down.
Right, we then go to Hollow Hill. We're at the Riverlands, where the Brotherhood Without Banners are setting up the fight. So, yeah, it's a trial by combat. Sandor Clegane versus Beric Dondarrion. Beric Dondarrion seemed way too confident, in my opinion, for this fight. So did the Brotherhood Without Banners. And, I mean, I guess we kind of find out maybe why he was confident. Because in the end, Sandor Clegane wins. He cuts through the sword of Beric Dondarrion. And I believe because he had the sword on fire, I'm assuming it kind of like weakened the sword.
I don't really know how swords work, but it's like...
I don't know. I'm assuming that's what happened.
I don't like this, what this guy can get brought back. Oh, but I can't bring back a headless guy. So what if the Hound here cut his fucking head off?
Well, he'd be fucked. But yeah, the cut kind of goes through the shoulder down into like the, I don't know, chest area, I guess. Pretty big cut. And, Arya's upset. She wants to kill the
Hound.
The Hound.
Butcher's boy.
And the Hound's like, well, I guess the butcher's boy deserved to die then, because look at me. I've won this. I've won the trial by combat, but then Beric Dondarrion steps up and he's like, maybe not. And he's like, your day will come. And he's alive, and they let Sandor Clegane go. Arya's not happy about it later on. When she's speaking with Beric and Foros, she asks a little bit about how they brought him back. He explains he's been brought back 6 times now. She asks, can you bring back someone without a head? To which Foros says, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And you know what?
So saying Ned Stark didn't get his head cut off, could he get brought back? Is Robb?
Yeah, but I mean, even for stuff to this to work, I think it makes sense that you can't be losing a fucking limb like a head. That makes sense.
That makes sense, but
right?
Also time makes sense.
And also, I think it makes sense that you can't be like
decomposed.
Aye, so I would say it would have to be pretty instantly. I think it would have to be relatively soon after you've died. You'd need to have your head intact and possibly your heart as well.
But how pathetic's this guy? 6 fights he's been in, or 6 times he's died at least, and he's died. He's lost every fight he's been in.
Now he says he gets a bit weaker every time he comes back, so maybe he was a really good fighter. I believe when it first happened, it was against
the Mountain.
Yeah, but I'm not going to criticise him for losing to the Mountain.
He says he said the Lannisters executed him. But if the Lannisters executed him, was this guy right beside him to revive him when he died then? How'd that work? Normally execution would be your head, by the way.
That is true. That is true. Most
that-
executions we see here.
Is
Also, is that a flaw,
hole?
guys? I mean, who knows? But anyway, Beric Dondarrion's still alive. I mean, I like this. You said you didn't. I thought this was. I mean,
I like the Hound, but I don't like the whole, this guy died, but he can come back.
No, I think I like the Brotherhood of. I mean,
the Brotherhood of fucking jobbers, man.
I mean, you want to draw the line at this? Look at those dragons flying about. Give me this over the dragons.
Dragons is more realistic.
What, then someone be resurrected? I'm not too sure.
The guy literally got cut in half. He got cut down to his heart, man. Dragons are just like big birds.
Grey Fox, Metal Gear, he was pretty much dead and they brought him back.
That's different.
Exoskeleton, how is it?
Exoskeleton. They didn't have this technology back in fucking 9 AD.
I mean, look at well, maybe this Lord of Light thing's good. Look at what that. Look at what Miss Elandria done with it. You know what I mean? She managed to.
Yeah, but I think it's ridiculous. I just prefer the medieval shit. I don't like it. I don't like this.
So mixed in, right?
It would be hypocritical to be like, mark out over this. Oh, this is brilliant, but Miss Elandria sucks.
Alright, Dragonstone. Stannis is depressed. He's just sitting there.
I'm depressed watching.
Miss Elandria has left. Stannis' army's been wiped out, so he's just kind of. Yeah. I mean, that's it. I guess. You know, I mean, it is what it is.
No,
maybe,
do you not honestly think like Stannis may as well died? No.
Maybe Stannis is just sitting here waiting on an attack for the Lannisters because he's certainly not going on the attack.
Make things right with Robb Stark. Whatever men you've got left, unite.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to do. He's still got Davos held captured. He speaks to his wife. His wife apologises, basically says, look, I suck. I couldn't give you a son. Couldn't give you an heir. At least the woman in red can. She can give you an heir. She can help you win this war. He then goes, visits his little daughter, Shireen, I believe. Is it Shireen? It's Shireen.
Burnt Coopen.
She then speaks with her father, wants to go and see Davos because that's her friend, but he said no, it's a traitor.
The Onion Man.
She goes to see him anyway, and she tries to bring him a book, but Davos says he can't read, and she's going, well, I'll help you read because you're my friend. So, yeah, Davos Seaworth can he read, but I think he's got more important things to worry about because as of right now, he's just trapped in a cell. Because, I mean, according to Stannis, he is a traitor, and according to Davos himself, he is a traitor, but
He's only saying that to put Stannis over.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's a waste of Stannis. But it's just a delay tactic. You know what I mean? If Stannis regrouped for an episode and then launched another attack on King's Landing, it would be a bit...
Yeah,
it wouldn't be unrealistic, but, you know, But then I don't really know what the next move is.
Wait.
Like, does Robb get the next... Are we waiting on Robb to attack King's Landing next? And then Stannis will be like, right, when Robb attacks, then I'll attack a week after or something? I don't know what we're doing.
And speaking of King's Landing, we have Cersei Lannister. She speaks with Baelish. She wants to know about the Tyrells and what they have in store, so she uses Littlefinger to spy on them. She says it needs to go better than when you tried to find Arya Stark. Sansa and Margaery are at the gardens. Margaery says she wants to marry Sansa to Ser Loras, and you know, because then they'll be united, they'll be family, and Sansa likes that because she likes Marjorie. Then Littlefinger meets with Sansa, and he says that she wants to try and get him to safety. Tells her to call him Peter, and he says, Sansa, I'm the only one you can trust. I'm your friend. Well, Ned Stark certainly couldn't trust you.
No, Ned Stark couldn't trust him, but I mean, Sansa doesn't really know that. But again, it's just, I just feel like this is more. It's like Sansa Stark has been stuck in King's Landing now for about 17 episodes.
Yeah, Tyrion is speaking with Olenna Tyrell, and she's disappointed. She heard all these good things about Tyrion, but all she sees now is a guy complaining about money, worrying about money. She wants the happy, drinking, doesn't care, Tyrion, but Tyrion is worried about the finances since he is the master of coin, and she basically says, look, I ain't got time for this, I'm sick of your complaining. The Tyrells will pay for half the wedding, even though it is traditionally, you know, the kings that would pay for it, the royal family.
Yeah, I mean, how rich is the Tyrells?
The crown.
But anyway, Tyrion here walks out with the tail between his legs, but here he got half it paid for. And then he goes to Tywin and Cersei. And I think this was the scene of the episode.
Yeah, so he goes to the small council chamber. He wants to speak to his father, but Cersei's there. Cersei's very happy, smile on her face. And Tyrion doesn't really know why. He wants to talk about the wedding, the fact that he saved half of it, but Tywin's like, hey, none of that matters, screw that. And then Tywin starts talking about the Tyrells. Now they can't trust them. Tyrion thinks, look, why should we not be trusting them? Why should we try and go against them, make enemies of them? Tywin says, because they're trying to steal the North away from us. And Tyrion's like, well, how do you make that out? And obviously because they want to marry Sansa. And Tyrion says, well, Sansa's not the key to the North, Robb Stark is. But Tywin basically explains that, look, Robb Stark's numbers are dwindling. In a few weeks, Robb Stark won't be here. Robb Stark won't be an option. That makes Sansa key to the North.
I don't get
since
that, though.
Robb's two brothers are dead.
I don't get how Sansa would be the key to the North, because if Robb Stark dies, it's not like Sansa's this like powerful woman and Tywin has to back down and like, oh, we have to accept. I mean, once Robb Stark dies, they win the war, and basically can Tywin not just put anyone in the North and be like, right, or Joffrey can do it?
Well, you still have to sack the North, don't you? I mean, the North is owned. The North belongs to the Starks.
Aye, and all of them are fucking deserted or are going to end up dead under this warpath. But yeah, it was funny because a couple of episodes ago, Tyrion's like, oh no, Sansa is beautiful, but she's not, and now he's fucking forced into marrying her.
Yeah, so Tywin says, right, well, we need that key to the North. We need to be the ones. We need to find a suitable person for Sansa to marry, and Tywin is looking at Tyrion. Cersei's looking at Tyrion. She's happy, big massive grin. Tyrion says, you can't be serious. And he's like, I am serious, and you're going to do it. Tyrion says he refuses to. He says that her life's already been made hell here. But Tywin says he doesn't care. He says, you are a Lannister, and you will do this. You say her life, you don't plan on making her life a misery, do you? So what's the problem?
That's a good point.
Problem is, Tyrion says that, she's fucking a child and he just doesn't want to do it, but Tywin's like, well, you know what, make her your wife and be good to her, and therefore her suffering will end. So, yeah, Tyrion not too happy about this.
Cersei's loving it, though.
You know what, though? I think it came a little bit... I thought it was against Tyrion's character. Because we know how he loves women. Or maybe he draws the line because, she is a child,
I think it's also the fact that he said a couple of episodes ago, oh, I don't find her attractive and all this. And
maybe I think he does genuinely care for Shay, so, that's probably the reason. Had this been season 1, Tyrion, I think he'd have been happy enough,
Yeah, but Tyrion's portrayed as a protagonist. For him to be happy about getting into bed with, a 13-year-old, it would just appear weird.
True. So, they get... he has to accept it. Cersei's all happy, but then the smile gets wiped to her face when Tywin turns around and says, and you will marry Sir Loras. And that way we can get the Tyrells, and we can get the... the Starks as well. So
have kids with him as well.
Yeah, and she's like, I will not. I'm not some whore. And Tywin's like, you are my daughter. And he says, you're still young enough to breed, and you're still young enough to pop out kids. And he lays down the law, and he says, you two are a disgrace to the Lannister name, and you're going to start making up for it. You're going to start remembering that you are Lannisters. You will marry Loras, and in doing so, you will put to bed the disgusting rumours that Stannis has been spreading about her and Jaime. So
it's not just Stannis, though.
I mean, I don't see how that's going to put them to bed, because she was with King Robert and they were still floating about, weren't they?
But see,
I guess they weren't, because King Robert wouldn't have had it.
Under a rock, or is Tywin obviously aware that they are, and that Joffrey is theirs, or is he simply, or is he not unaware of this? I'm going to assume he's aware of it. Correct? He just wants no one else to think it.
Possibly. Maybe if he doesn't acknowledge it, it's not real.
I think Tywin may as well just fucking drop more of them, creating a new family, a new dynasty.
Yeah, so both Cersei and Tywin are left there, not really happy about the the arrangements that are being made, but they've been made and there's nothing they can do about it, and that's it. Tywin walks out. So when Tywin's, and you know what, we've seen Tywin pretty much have control over everybody. He's put everybody in their place so far, apart from Joffrey. So I'm looking forward to that. When are we going to get a scene with those two?
Yeah, when are we?
I want to see
Joffrey
Joffrey.
going to be fucking dying before that happens?
I want to see Joffrey try his shit with Tywin a bit. Anyway, time to rate this episode. I thought it was one of the better episodes of season 3 so far. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I liked the Lannister stuff. I thought the sit down was very good. We had a cool fight scene between Sandor the Hound and Beric Dondarrion. I thought the Robb Stark stuff as well was actually pretty decent, even though you didn't like it. No, I thought this was one of the better episodes of this. I'm giving that a 7. I thought it was pretty good.
No, I'll give it a 6, right? It's not the Robb's, it just feels forced. It just feels like a forced conflict to get him to go back to Alder Frey. I don't understand why the Karstad guy would kill his own men and kill, the guy guarding the door, and then kill the 2 Lannister kids and expect Robb Stark to be alright with it.
My least favourite stuff is Beyond the Wall, anything to do with Daenerys, even though I like Varys and Selmy and Mormont, and the Theon Greyjoy stuff.
Oh, aye. With Ramsay Bolton.
I mean, I think when you're dealing with everything else, it's pretty good, but for that stuff, not too much. Anyway, guys, 6.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, let us know your thoughts, and peace.